not easy to be somebody who chronicles that history. But this is what Joanna Funk has done. And if we can imagine not about tomorrow, but about 100 years from now, there will be Sabahans who will pick up this book and read about you and how you started the vibrant music community in Sabah. And so it is with that much love and thanks that we invite the author of the book, Joanna Funk, to give a speech.
Well, Minister, ladies and gentlemen, my honored guests, and all the people working in music in Sabah who are here today, thank you very much for being here. This is a really happy day. I have many, many people to thank who've all played a big part in helping bring this book together. Firstly, of course, I would like to thank our Minister of Tourism, Culture and Environment, Dr. Kusidi Manjan, who was 100% behind this book when I first approached him about it. Because of that, he sort of paved the way for us to really go ahead with this project. And I can't thank him enough. Thank you, Minister. Next of all, I'd like to tell you just how wonderful the book publisher has been about this. Dr. Xiao Chan, Director of Opus Publications, let me talk until I was blue in the face about how wonderful our local musicians were. And he said, you're so passionate. It just reminds me how I feel about my books. So I'm going to, contribute to this by designing the book and laying it out for you for free. And then we had a project going. And the thing is, we had a very short time period to do this. So his son, Chan Ching, who was the graphic designer for Opus Publications, managed to lay the whole book out within 3 weeks, from start to finish, which must be a record for sure. I myself had to edit the copy within that time frame and also raise the money to get the book printed. So before I go on to talk about our life-saving sponsors, let me just say once more, thank you very much to Dr. Xiao Chan and Chan Hin Ching of Opus Publications. Along with the Minister himself, there is the Sabah Tourism Board. Where are you? You all over there? Yes, great, thank you. I really hope that you enjoy the book SabahSongs and that you enjoy sharing it with other people. Thank you for all your help. And everybody, myself and everybody who's in the book is just really honored that you believe that it's something that can represent the state of Sabah. Thank you very much to all of you. So, for Mega Boogie, the father and son management team of Mega Boogie, which is Haji Barry Lamandiki, or Uncle Barry as we know him, and his son Lasman, sadly, they regret they cannot be here today because they're in Singapore. However, I'm glad to say that the members of the Mega Boogie crew, who are Pian, Rizal and Izar, are going to be representing them today, so I'm really happy about that. Mega Boogie introduced me to a whole new world in Sabah, all about lights and sound equipment. So I learned all these new words like trussing, line array, paracan lights, and expressions like front of house. But they also showed me a completely different way to live, because they're a very close community and they're very hard-working Sabahans who are so proud to be working for Mega Boogie. And their association with SabahSongs has really been an honor for me while I've been here. So thank you very much to Mega Boogie. The Kota Kinabalu Jazz Festival and the Society for Performing Arts in Kota Kinabalu, Sabah, or SPARKS, are two organizations who have a vision to build up Sabah and Kota Kinabalu in particular to be a cultural hub in the region. I approached the people that I know best, who were Roger Wang and Dr. Adeline first, and they were both so supportive of this book. But the organizations are represented by many dedicated people. And today here we have co-organizing chairman Jack Ong, the KK Jazz Festival, and SPARKS President Chong they welcomed me to so many events over the years and provided SabahSongs with loads of material for both the blog and the book. So thank you very much to KKJF and Sabah. Sponsor Asian Supply Base Lab 1 is represented today by Director Datuk Uzziah and his son Ben. The Datuk is a really cool blues guitarist, and I think he's got this most fabulous jamming studio, and I've met half of the KK music community at that place. He also called me over to meet Deacon, who is the guitarist from Ranau, who played with Mankadal at Stomping Sabah a few years ago, and I did a story based on that at the Datuk's house. And I also met Mega Boogie's Uncle Barry there as well, and he said, "Oh, you're the lady that writes about music. Come to my studio." And I did, and the rest is history, really. So he's been really wonderful, and I think his studio is affectionately known as the Kutiao Blues Center. Is that right? So on behalf of all the musicians that you've supported, and thank you for supporting SabahSongs, thank you very much, Datuk Uzziah. The Sabah State Library has ordered 40 books, and I have to admit that when I heard that order, I did cry a little bit, because it's the library, right? So it's like, we really made history. I couldn't get over that, really. So I sort of hope that students doing research about music history will read about all of you, and that made me feel very nice. And also because my dad was a journalist as well, and he was the press officer to the last British governor here, who was William Good. So my dad's writing is in the Sabah archive, and now, 50 years later, his daughter goes into the Sabah Library. So I feel, very nice. Chef Leo, what can I say about my awesome friend, Chef Leo, of Bella Restaurant and Bombers Burger? He's a sponsor of our book, and he's a sponsor of this book launch. And over the last few years, he has employed local musicians, including Raymond, Sunny B, Momain Blues, Giaja, Suhaimi Jamli, Alvin M.Y., Oswald Pereira, Johnny Toff, Jade Sisters, Papa musicians Fuad Zion, Yon, and Classic Elastic. So he's a dynamic, passionate chef who loves Sabah and is always looking for ways to celebrate food and music. So even though I'm going away, I'm sure that you will be eating his Bombers Burgers soon to blues or jazz or Motown, a cappella, rock and roll. You stick with Leo, he will give everything back to you. He loves Sabah. So please can we have a hand to our Chef Leo. I'm glad that the UMS Music Department wanted to sponsor this book also. Many of their members are in it, and Agung Beat and UMS Big Band are in it. And I hope that UMS students will be inspired to read about the determination and the passion of our local talent, to learn from their struggles and to identify with their bravery, and maybe even to seek them out for research or advice. Choosing music is not an easy path, and everybody tells me that their relatives say this thing, boleh cari makan ha, right? So you better go and study at UMS and get a good music foundation. So thank you very much, UMS. My book supporters are Leslie Chin, Director of Sabah Property Magazine, Johnny Lim, Director of Jawara Media and Entertainment, and Grant Colbrin, Director of GALC. Leslie is going to run an ad about our book in his magazine. Johnny is going to run a big ad in the big LED screen above the stage of in bed on the waterfront. And Grant has been advising me on projects which could link Sabah and Australia. So all these people are really helping SabahSongs, and please give them a hand. I'm almost done. So for those of you who don't know much about this book, and there are a few, it comes from a blog that I started writing in 2009. I came here and I saw many, many talented musicians, and when I looked them up on the internet, I couldn't find any information about them. So I thought I'd change that, and I started to write about them. And little by little, one person would say, oh, do you want to meet so-and-so? He's a great guitarist. Or do you want to meet so-and-so? They make musical instruments, or they're a composer, or they're a great mentor of musicians, and things like that. So it ended up being quite a big blog. And I have to blame the book idea on my gang of three, who are Roger Wang, and Yap Heng Hui, and Chris Pereira. And basically, they knew I was leaving, and they said, oh, Yap said, you need to write a SabahSongs book. This blog is a part of our history, and we need to be able to keep it in a book. And they were very excited about this, and by the time Roger joined us, it was like a done deal already. So they said, oh, just go and talk to Datuk C.L. Chan, we can make a book. Just like that, right? So, anyway, when you read this book, you will enjoy it because there are people you know in it. You know, it's their lives and their voices. And the Mermaid Blues Band, they say, what comes out of a Sabahan's mouth gets put into our song. Well, they have won awards with their songs, and what came out of Sabahan's mouth also went into a blog, and then a book. So you obviously have a lot to say, right? And interestingly too, you really have your own voice. I hear some people, some musicians say, oh, they talk about West Malaysian or overseas musicians as being in a different class and stuff like that. But you know, I really disagree. On the rock stage, for example, I think Nazri G could shine anywhere in this world. You know, and he and his brother Naja, they don't try and be like anybody else or sound like anybody else. They really have their own voice, their own statement, and I really hope one day the whole world gets to hear about them. And then I get the exclusive interview, right? I have to say goodbye, so I'm going to say it with a song, because that's a nice way to do it. I'm going to do a short 1.5-minute song with my classic elastic partner and my dear friend Sophie Van Laird. So we will just do it here with only them mics. And so thank you very much, Sabah. It's just been great.